When you think about LEGO video games, odds are good that you probably think about games made by Traveler's Tales or TT Games. And it makes sense. Traveler's Tales has become iconically synonymous with the LEGO company, having created award-winning games like the LEGO Star Wars the video game, and even through other franchises like Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Jurassic World, even Lord of the Rings, they've become an iconic household name for family-friendly video games. While it has become undeniable that TT Games is what most people expect from a LEGO video game, it only really scratches the surface of what a LEGO video game really is. From the original LEGO Island all the way to LEGO Fortnite and LEGO Horizon Adventures, the world of LEGO video games is vast and varied, and most of those games face a very difficult challenge because they're not tied to any franchise like many of the TT games are. See, when TT Games makes a game like LEGO Batman or LEGO Avengers or LEGO Lord of the Rings, they're able to reuse a lot of the music that was already used for those movies. The music to those franchises has already been established. So if you go away from those franchises and you want to make a LEGO video game, you have to ask the question, what does a LEGO video game sound like? If you go and watch a Harry Potter movie, you know exactly what the music should sound like, usually just based on what the trailer is. You see all these kids in this incredible castle, you see magic and weird quirky robes and trolls and things, so you know that the music is going to reflect a lot of the same things. And this idea goes beyond the idea of sequels, it goes into entire franchises like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You see, when you go and see a Marvel movie, you expect the music to be heroic, super, incredible, adventurous. And while there are certainly some deviations to that, like the harpsichord in Doctor Strange, versus the rock inspirations from Iron Man, you still get the core idea of the fact that you're watching superheroes. Now, the LEGO company is unique because they're not a movie franchise, they're not a book series, they're a toy company. A toy company that's created spaceships, the Wild West, and policemen, and medieval knights and castles. The LEGO company tells so many stories outside of the franchises that they partner with, so what is the musical identity of the LEGO company? To figure this out, let's go a little bit further and find out about the company that actually makes the brick. You see, the LEGO company was not first built on LEGO bricks. It was actually built on wooden toys, with their most iconic being this wooden duck. One of the most iconic stories is about its founder, Ole Kirk Christensen, and how his son, Gottfried, had decided to try and cut costs by only adding 2 layers of varnish to this iconic wooden duck. And when he proudly told his dad that he had found a way to cut costs by adding 2 layers of varnish instead of their typical 3, the response that he got from his dad was, "You'll immediately fetch those ducks back, give them the last coat of varnish, pack them and return them to the station, and you'll do it on your own, even if it takes you all night." We live in a world where people are proud of finding costs that they can just cut, so that production costs come down and the profit goes up. So what is it about the LEGO company that we learn from just this experience? It's summed up in what was an early motto of the LEGO company: only the best is good enough. Now wait a second, we're talking about a toy company for kids. Why do they care so much about perfection that a father needs to scold his son for cutting costs? This is one of the reasons I'm honestly kind of obsessed with the LEGO company, is because their priority is kids. And where their identity really starts to show through is when you see that their passion is about helping kids reach their creative potential. They understand that the next innovation and the next building blocks of culture and creativity come from the minds of kids. And the best way to give them the tools to be able to cultivate those creative juices is really to give them toys that will allow them to learn how to innovate, learn how to be creative, and use their imagination. And through this, I think we start to find words that define the LEGO company: creative play. Creativity is vast and imagination is so unexplainable. I think that in itself takes its own category for what their identity is, but I think playing with Lego bricks, we can break down a little bit further. Because first, it's epic. Whenever you sit down with a Lego set, the possibilities are endless. And especially when you have franchises that are well known, how incredible is it that you get to have Spider-Man team up with Gandalf to take down a Mind Flayer? You're able to literally create worlds that don't exist. And it's not like you're bringing in a set from one toy and another toy and they just don't fit. You can make them fit however you want to where it makes the most sense. Playing with Lego sets is epic, it's creative, but today, what I want to talk about is the fact that it is weird.
Howdy, guys!
Quiet, nope, stools don't
Come
talk.
sit on me!
Stools don't talk.
You can't deny that playing with Lego sets is a little bit quirky just because of how they're naturally designed. And the Lego company really embraces their silliness. They're not afraid to be childlike and have childlike humor.
First law of the sea. Never place your rear end on a pirate's face.
That's also a big part of what makes the TT games so memorable is that you take franchises that you're familiar with and they are able to take the scenes and make them really goofy and silly.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Now, translating the idea of quirkiness into music doesn't have any particular rules, but it does have some tendencies. Let's start all the way back with the very first Lego video game, Lego Island. The remix of someone just saying Lego sets the tone of something familiar to the 90s, but conveys a bit of quirkiness. What follows is a whole scene setting up the goofy nature of the game, with the music sounding groovy and serious, until you get, well, whatever this is.
I'm the pizza delivery dude, the dude with the food. Ollie!
Now watch this!
The best description I can give is that it's a 90s beat breakdown with a toy pipe organ. In another context, it would sound unnatural and wrong, but for the world of Lego Island, it just makes sense. And that's part of making music sound quirky, is using sounds that just don't sound like they should fit. This has been something consistent all the way from Lego Island all the way until Lego Horizon Adventures. Based off of the popular game series, the game takes a well-known video game character and creates a brand new story and experience through the world of Lego bricks, which is convenient for us because we can take a direct comparison and see what makes them different. The original theme for the main character, Alloy, is a serious, emotional theme and sets the tone for the type of adventure you'd expect from a AAA company. So what makes the sound of Lego Horizon Adventures so different? To begin, you already hear it starts brighter and more fun, like it's something you can dance with. And in this world that blends post-apocalyptic with tribal culture, with giant robotic animals, what else would make sense but a banjo? This whole soundtrack is an excellent example of how you bring in quirkiness into the soundtrack and fit it in so well that it sounds unique. It sounds like it should be a part of a Lego video game, but it still holds this element of quirkiness. While tone and timbre can absolutely be one of the ways you convey quirkiness in a piece of music, I think one of the most effective ways is through the composition itself. And to give us an example of what that might sound like, we're going to go back to what is probably one of my most nostalgic video games, Lego Racers. Lego Racers is the Lego company's version of kart racing game, with a lot of fun characters, a really cool power-up system, iconic tracks, and of course, building systems. Every piece of music in the game has an identity of fun and silliness that perfectly matches the different settings of each race, but I want to look at the music for the main menu. There's an undeniably unique and silly sound to it, and a big part of it is the sounds they chose to use. but the composition also leans heavily on the use of staccato notes and chromaticism. Let's look at a brief description of both staccato and chromaticism. So staccato is when you take a note and play it as quickly and short as possible. So for example, if you took the LEGO Racers main theme and you took away the staccato notes, this is what it would sound like. But instead, you want to make it choppy. You want to make it short so that those notes really stick out. That's what we mean when we talk about things being staccato, and that's all throughout this main theme. But what I think really makes it quirky is chromaticism. Chromaticism is when you use any note outside of the key you've already established. And LEGO Racers is in the key of C major, which makes it really easy for us to demonstrate, because the key of C major is simply all of the white keys on a piano. So to visualize what chromaticism is, it's any time you use any of the black keys on the piano. And in this theme, that happens constantly. The main theme of LEGO Racers has 4 distinct parts. First is the melody, which establishes the key of C major and then quickly moves out of it when it goes to the note B flat. To enforce this chromaticism, you have the second part of the theme, the response. It's meant to sound like an echo of the last part of the melody to reinforce what you just heard, and in this case, to really hammer down on the quirkiness of the B flat. The bass line also goes to the B flat, but what's interesting is how it gets there. In music, whenever you talk about the distance between 2 notes, it's called an interval. And there's one particular interval that's been called the devil's interval. Because it sounds so bad and so wrong, it was outlawed in church music because it sounded like the devil himself made it. Or maybe you were summoning the devil. I don't really remember exactly why it's called that. But what's interesting is that's exactly how the bass line gets down to the B flat. It's quirky, it's weird, it shouldn't fit, and yet it works perfectly. The fourth part of the main theme is this accompaniment line, which only shows up the second time the melody is played. This accompaniment line is largely in the background, but it leans into the concept of chromaticism really heavily. Out of the 5 black keys that are available to use, it uses 3 of them. And when all of these things work together, what you get is something that is undeniably LEGO music. Now, there are many more examples of LEGO video games using quirkiness within their music. But as the video games themselves evolve over time, so does the music, and they begin to be a little more epic and a little more creative. But we'll talk about that more in part 2. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really enjoyed learning all about the quirkiness of LEGO video games. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so you can see when part 2 comes out. And go ahead and check out some of my other videos if you're interested in just the world of video game music. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.